They can sketch a life in minutes. Freedom, wealth, meaning. Their eyes light up. The words come fast. It feels alive. But days pass. The plan stays on paper. The dream stays in talk. That gap hurts. It confuses. It shames. And it hides a set of predictable psychological forces. Naming them changes everything. It lets us be kinder. And it opens a clearer path forward. Start with the small pleasure of imagining. Your brain treats vivid imagination like a rehearsal. You picture applause, the raise, the applause of friends. Dopamine nudges your system. You get a tiny reward. That little hit tricks the brain into thinking some work is already done. Urgency drops. The mind relaxes. Action becomes optional. This is not weakness. It is a biological shortcut. Knowing it helps you design around it. Next is the tidy shelter of idealization. Planning preserves the dream in perfect form. The idea remains unmarked by mistakes. You can keep belief intact by never testing it. Trying risks a messy outcome, an awkward attempt, or criticism. So avoidance looks like prudence. Inwardly, it protects self-esteem. It preserves the version of you that is still golden. Yet the cost is the dream never meets the world. Then there is the myth of readiness. We wait for the right tools, the perfect schedule, the flawless mood. We tell ourselves, I'll start when I'm ready. But research on learning and motivation suggests readiness often follows action. Confidence builds from practice. Skills grow with repetition. Waiting for perfect conditions is a strategy that guarantees delay. The future self we imagine never quite arrives. Overthinking deserves its own place. It feels like care. It feels like strategy. But it is energy sapping. When you analyze paths, predict failures, and weigh options without end, cognitive resources decline. Decision fatigue sets in. The brain defaults to the path of least resistance. That path is inaction. Overthinkers mean well. Their minds are efficient at avoiding costly mistakes. The side effect is paralysis. Identity is heavier than intention. You hold a story about who you are. I'm not disciplined. I don't finish things. These statements operate like psychological gravity. New behaviors must push against it. Changing identity feels like social risk. Friends, family, and your own habits expect the old version. So, the brain resists change to maintain coherence. Action then requires not only effort, but a shift in self-concept. There is also a subtle addiction to possibility. Talking about what could be activates social reward systems. Talk earns connection, admiration, and hope. It is low cost. It generates energy. By contrast, real work is repetitive, dull, and sometimes humiliating. Many choose the lighter reward. It feels pleasant. It also keeps progress small. Perfectionism hides behind noble words. It sets an impossible standard. Anything less is branded failure. So the safest choice becomes waiting for the perfect iteration. Perfectionism protects identity in the short term. It destroys momentum in the long term. The curious thing is that perfectionism often disguises fear. Fear of judgment, fear of being seen as inadequate. Recognizing this frees you to experiment. Fear of success is real. It sounds odd, but success can change relationships, expectations, and personal identity. You might worry about jealousy or about handling new responsibilities. You might fear losing a shared identity with someone who anchors you in the present. So remaining in the current state can feel safer than stepping into the unknown halo of success. Then there is the role of executive function. Planning and doing use overlapping neural systems. When these systems are under strain by stress, sleep loss, ADHD, depression, or chronic illness, translating intention into action becomes hard. You might have clarity and energy in the morning while making plans, but when it's time to act, you are depleted. This is not moral failure. It's a cognitive limitation with practical fixes. Finally, social signaling sustains the loop. Big ideas signal something desirable to others. They say, I am visionary. This brings approval without the mess of change. Social feedback reinforces the behavior. Dreaming becomes a currency. It buys identity and admiration. It also reduces the pressure to act. So what changes this system? What bridges the space between talk and doing? Start with experiments. Treat action like a test, not a judgment. This lowers the stakes. It reframes attempts as data gathering. You will learn faster, and you will lose less face. Break big dreams into the smallest possible steps. Don't say, I'll write a book. Say, I will write 250 words today. Don't say, get fit. Say, put on shoes and walk. For 10 minutes, micro steps create immediate feedback. They give your brain real evidence. Small wins produce real dopamine. They shift you away from aspirational pleasure and toward tangible progress. Use time and place to your advantage. Implementation intentions work because they reduce ambiguity. Tomorrow at 7 a.m., I'll write 20 minutes at my kitchen table. That cue removes the need to decide in the moment. It bypasses the argument your mind will start. Consistency matters more than intensity. 10 minutes daily beats a marathon once in a blue moon. Lower the bar to defeat perfectionism. Give yourself permission to produce something that would embarrass you. Set a goal so small it feels laughable. Then do it. The act of releasing imperfect work shows you that consequences are not as severe as your fear imagines. Over time, this weakens perfectionism's grip. Change identity through repetition, not argument. Say, I'm the kind of person who shows up for 10 minutes, then show up. Identity softens when evidence accumulates. Celebrate the tiny consistency, not the imagined final product. Language shifts perception. Replace I'm not with I'm learning. These are small semantic moves with big effects. Design your environment to remove friction. Put the instrument of action in plain sight. Remove obvious distractions. Make the desired behavior the path of least resistance. If the hardest step is opening the app, delete it. If the hardest step is starting the guitar, leave it on the couch. We are ecological creatures. We respond to cues without heroic willpower. Limit fantasy time deliberately. Give yourself a short window each week for imagining and planning. Make it sacred, then close it. Create a ritual to mark the switch from vision to work. A timer, a distinct playlist, a physical gesture. These cues tell your brain the mode has changed. This respects the motivational role of dreaming while protecting execution time. Practice emotional acceptance. Notice the feelings that come with trying. Fear, shame, boredom. Name them. I notice fear right now. Observing emotion without judgment reduces its intensity. It keeps you from doing the classic two-step of feeling bad and then escaping into planning. The aim is curiosity, not suppression. Use accountability that respects vulnerability. Share a tiny, specific commitment with someone who supports you. Ask them to check in twice a week. Keep the request small so it feels safe to be honest. Public commitments increase follow-through, but choose witnesses who offer curiosity, not judgment. Track evidence visibly. Use a calendar, a checklist, or a jar with tokens. Each mark is proof. Proof accumulates into belief. Your brain updates slowly. Visible evidence accelerates that update. Over time, the ledger of small acts rewrites your inner story. Test the cost of being imperfect. Set a 30-minute deadline to ship something raw. Post it. Note the reaction. Often, you'll find the world is more forgiving than your inner critic. That data point weakens perfectionism. It also teaches you how to iterate in public. If executive function is a barrier, seek tailored support. Therapy, coaching, or medical evaluation can give you strategies that match your brain. Tools like external reminders, structured routines, medication when appropriate, and skill-based coaching can convert intention into behavior. This is practical, not moral. Finally, shorten horizons. Long-term visions are energizing, but they can feel abstract. Replace the distant horizon with a chain of micro-horizons. What will you change tomorrow? This week? This month? Micro-horizons keep feedback frequent. Frequent feedback keeps learning rapid. A closing reality to hold gently. Visions are essential. They orient us and fuel meaning, but they need vessels. Habits, context, and tiny rituals are the vessels. They are not flashy. They are boring. Yet they are what sustain transformation. Also, hold compassion as a practice. Many people learned early that mistakes meant loss. Many were rewarded for talking and punished for doing. Those histories leave scars. Treat yourself like a curious friend. Ask, what did I learn? Rather than, what's wrong with me? Curiosity opens doors. Shame slams them. Try one experiment now. Pick one tiny habit that aligns with the person you want to be. Commit to it for a month. Keep it small. Track it daily. Reflect weekly. Notice language shifts. Notice how the inner story loosens its grip. Measure evidence, not intention. Dreaming itself is not the problem. Caution is not the enemy. The true problem is getting stuck at the threshold. The antidote is not brute force. It is a set of small, compassionate moves that respect emotion and reshape behavior. If you often dream but do little, you are not alone. Your hesitation has reasons. Your dreams are meaningful. Start with a tiny experiment. Measure, learn, iterate. Over time, the distance between your imagination and your life will become smaller. And when it does, you will meet a quieter truth. Action turns possibility into reality.